Welcome to another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with two G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with two G's. The BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And I'm your host, Poncho. And we got Lindy in the building. I'm going to let her introduce herself because that's what I usually like to do because that's what we got him here for.
Okay, where do I start?
We could just definitely really just start off with who you are. Definitely.
Well, I'm Lindy. I am a girl, just a girl. No, I don't know.
No, not at all. This is it.
Yeah, so
where are you from?
Let's see. I'm from Olympia, Washington. I grew up in a really beautiful area, outdoorsy. Mm-hmm. And then I've been in Southern California for like the past, I would say like 10 years now. Okay. All over. But you probably have heard of me maybe from the TV show Married at First Sight. I am a doctor of physical therapy. I do that for work. And my passion is like traveling. Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
So even to start off, what was the life in Washington for you? Even starting off with the weather.
Yeah, lots of rain.
Right.
Super, it's not a stereotype. It's legitimate. It rains a lot. But so beautiful. Then it's so worth it because in the summer, it's just so green. Like everything is super green. There's tons of mountains, lakes. I grew up right next to a lake. Really, really lucky to appreciate nature the way that I was raised to appreciate it.
So with it raining all the time, I know I always hear places that rain a lot, depression is high. Is that really
true.
Big?
Seasonal affective disorder is not something to scoff at. Like if you're not seeing the sunshine for like 6 months straight,
right?
Like that wears on your soul and it wears on your energy. Like physiologically, we need sun rays to energize our cells and our soul.
That's why I was really curious because I've always heard like when there's like not a lot of sunlight in places that the depression is high. But I was like, is that real? But it's like now, I mean, hearing it from yourself, like obviously you lived it, so that was like a big thing.
It's true, and like a lot of the places in the Midwest, like even though it's cold, the sun still shines, you know. But there's certain parts in certain states that it's super cloudy all the time. And Washington, like Seattle, that area, like along the Puget Sound, it just gets a lot of, clouds and stuff.
I've been to Seattle, I think one time, and the trees, I've just seen a lot of trees and it was really green and the air was actually, it felt different, like breathing the air.
It's light. The air is like light. It always heals me. Like it's so good for your lungs to breathe in all that oxygen because the trees, like, that's where we get our oxygen from. And down here, the air just feels a little like heavier, a little saltier, a little drier. It's hard on the lungs.
How long did you stay out in Washington?
So I lived there until I was 18. Mm-hmm. So all through. I went to boarding school for high school.
So usually when they send somebody to boarding school, that they were usually the bad kid. Was that usually the case?
I was actually like a very, very straight-laced kid. It's just like a religious school that my parents sent me to. 14 to 18 in like the same campus all the time.
Mm-hmm. What was, because I can't even imagine, what is boarding school like?
Oh my goodness, it's so hard to even describe. Like it's hard to explain because to me it's just so normal. Like my siblings went there, like my friends went there, but essentially, you live in the girls' dorm. Mm-hmm. There was two of us in a room, you know, and
so something like you in college.
It's college at 14
years old.
Yeah, 13, 14. Like it's a school that has a lot of foreign exchange students too. Mm-hmm. So they have like an ESL program. So you're meeting people from all over Asia. So they have the dorm separate, and then you live there, and you walk across the street and go to school.
And the boarding school was from what age to what age?
I was there from 14 to 18. So it was 9th through 12th grade, like all of high school.
Wow. And you do get to go back and visit home and stuff.
Yeah, so they have like breaks, you know, like Christmas and everything. You go spend it with your family. Then they have like smaller breaks, and usually the people like from Asia will need someone to like that lives local to bring them home with them. But yeah, it was, so I would see my family, like be with them in the summer, and then like spring break, Christmas.
Kind of like normal, like you would in
like
college. If
exactly.
you were to go away for college.
Just college started at 14 for me.
Yeah. And was that like a big change for you since, because I mean, most people when you that young, you kind of growing up with your family, like kind of
oh my goodness,
right there with you.
I was super homesick.
Mm-hmm.
But then
this is throughout the whole thing, or just
no, just the first few months.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I want to be home. But then I just immersed myself.
one of those two. It's one of those two
into like all the extracurricular activities. I played volleyball, basketball. I was like running for all the offices, president, vice president, all of the stuff of different associations and clubs, and
Right.
I sang. I was in like a choir that traveled every weekend. Yeah, I love singing.
What even got you into doing so much of those?
That's kind of all there
Different
is.
extracurricular.
That's
Oh, okay,
like all
okay.
there. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
you either you sit in the dorm all night, or you join a club that lets you be out of the dorm. You
Right.
know, like because you can't leave the campus unless you have an adult with you. Like so, you're just kind of stuck on the same property.
So there had to be there's a college just so it's like, and then you have all these kids. There has to be some kids that are bad who get together that know like, okay, this is where we're going at this time, and nobody's gonna know about this.
Yes, of course. Like that always happens. There was kids sneaking off, and you know, like there's always a way around it. But the repercussions are like high because you know it's like your school, so you don't want to get kicked out and stuff. So I don't know. I was always just a little too paranoid. Like I had my moments, but mostly pretty straight-laced.
Yeah. So like you said, like the repercussions were kind of high, and you didn't want to get kicked out of school, and obviously that was going to reflect back on your parents and
education first. Exactly.
And you said you grew up with siblings.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of. There's 4 of us, so I'm the youngest of 4. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister.
And are you super tight with them as well?
Yeah, I'm close with all of them. Like when we see each other, it's like no time has passed. But I would say like I'm closest with my sister. Like she lives just an hour. She's in Orange County. So yeah, we're probably the closest.
And what called it quits in Washington for you to move out Southern California?
I came over here for grad school. Yeah, so I kind of moved all over. I was in college in Nebraska, and then I was in college in Michigan, and then I hated it. I was too cold, so then I applied to schools in Southern California, and then got into the DPT program down here.
DPT, what's that?
Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So was that hard to? And what even made you want to pursue that lane?
So I want this program to be in every college. I took a course called Professional Shadowing, and it was a 1-credit class, and all you had to do was shadow 4 different professionals and get 80 hours of shadowing. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do. I originally thought I wanted to.
Was there a time limit where it's like I can only do 4 hours, or I can only do 2 hours at a time?
I can't remember how they broke it up, but I remember those parameters. And I really thought I wanted to be a physician assistant, but I did some shadowing, and I just was super discouraged. I didn't like just pushing medicine on people. And so taking this class was awesome because I started shadowing professionals I never would have thought of, you know, chiropractors and dentists and whatever. And I stumbled upon physical therapy.
Right.
Yeah. And like once I saw it, I was like, this is exactly it. This is what I want to do. Like my dad's an MD and my mom's a massage therapist. So I joke that physical therapy is that mesh because we study medicine and we understand it and pharmacology and all of these different things. But then we have the hands-on healing and the exercise science behind it all. And yeah, so it's a really wonderful mesh. And I got so excited when I found the profession.
How long have you been in it?
I've been practicing for 5 years. School just takes forever. It was like 7.5 years. Wow. Yeah, like post, you know, like college and
like
grad
you
school.
said, like education first. So that means you had to knock all that out before you even hopped into it.
My life is just head down, like books in the nose, you know, just trying to get through school. So the past 5 years have been awesome because finally making money, not only finally making money, but then pursuing, you know, like my passion of traveling the world has been awesome as well.
What brought that focus to you? To, like you just said, have my head down just in the books, like I'm ready to go. Like what kind of brought that about?
I would have to say it's it's my family line. Like, honestly, everyone is higher educated. I really come from a I would say lucky, blessed family. Like, everyone's like a lot of people in dentistry, medicine. So it was kind of, I never questioned it. It was just like, yeah, we all go to school. So
with that, was there any doubt with you even pursuing that lane, or was there anything else that you ever wanted to go? Since you always seen them kind of in the medical field, dentist field, was it like, okay, since I know they're all doing it, I have to do that, or it's kind of like, I kind of want something else?
I mean, it's funny because I did kind of do something else by doing the physical therapy route. Even though it's still a doctorate and it's higher education, it wasn't super accepted by a lot of my family members because it wasn't dentistry or medicine.
That was my next question. I was like, how does your family feel about now that you have pursued this lane and continuing to pursue it?
I think a lot of it is, I don't mean this to be offensive, but I think it's ignorance. Like, I remember a family member, when I told them I'd gotten into physical therapy school, they were like, oh, you're going to push wheelchairs around? And it's like, it's just such an offense and a disgrace to the profession because, no, we don't push wheelchairs around, you know?
Right.
So I think it's just a lot of, I would say, ignorance, and then just thinking that the medical field and the dental field are like the top of the line.
Right. Yeah. So for those who actually don't even have any idea what physical therapists do, maybe you can just give them, you don't have to give them a whole encyclopedia. Maybe you can just give them a short rundown of what it is that physical therapy actually, you don't just push wheelchairs around.
Exactly. So there's many different disciplines. You can work in the school system, in the hospitals. And then within the hospitals, there's like acuity levels. Like, if you're working with patients who are in the hospital, or are they neuro patients? Do they just have a brain injury or stroke? You can work in an outpatient ortho setting where you're working with like athletes or somebody who twisted their ankle. Like, that's what typically people think of physical therapy is like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Let me go get some exercises and rehab. But within that level, there's, you know, top of the top and like most basic of the basic exercises. Like, there's such a spectrum. So there's a lot of flexibility within the field. And then working with pediatrics, with kids with disabilities, like, but I work in acute care in the hospital. So I'm kind of like a consultant. The doctor, you know, orders a physical therapy eval, and then, I get to wander around the entire hospital, right? Like, we have the cardiac floor, so somebody who just had open heart surgery, or we have the neuro floor, someone who just had a stroke. Like, this is acute patients, and this is sometimes the first time they're getting out of bed. Right. So it's super exciting to go in and assess their mobility and see, you know, I recommend assisted devices, or I recommend the next level of care. Like, do they need to go to a skilled nursing facility? Can they go home with help? So it's a lot of like figuring out people's living situations and then making the correct recommendations.
Right. See, so you just showed them that it's way more than even what they
my goodness.
And that was just the bare minimum of even what you explained. It's like, I'm sure you can get down to just the bare minimum, and that's going to take a whole long time to explain.
Yes.
So
I mean, we, like, in school, I dissected a cadaver for an entire year, like from head to toe.
Wow.
So my anatomy and physiology is par with orthopedic surgeons. Like, right. Yeah, so it's nothing to scoff at.
Right. So you, like you said, you put some time and effort into this. Like, this is nothing to play around with. Yes. Like this is something that you're passionate about, obviously.
Definitely. Do you need a top off?
No. I will. I definitely will, though. I promise you I will, though. So then from you then going to school.
Yes.
Is that where you want to stay in that field, or is there something more you want to excel to within that field?
Yeah, so I've only, like I said, I've been working for 5 years, and I've worked in almost every setting. So I've kind of...
What's your favorite?
Where I'm at now.
If you have one. Okay.
I love acute care. I have the most experience in this setting now. But I worked as a travel physical therapist for a while, just similar to travel nursing. You do 13-week contracts, and you can kind of go anywhere in the U.S.
Right.
Which is really awesome to have that flexibility as well. But yeah, I really am. I'm happy with my setting right now. And what's cool about the job I have right now is I work per diem, which means I create my own schedule. So I have flexibility. I tell the hospital when I'm available.
Right.
But there's like, I have to work one weekend day and then three normal days within a month.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only like obligation to the per diem life.
Right.
Is those 4 days in a month.
And that's not much at
No,
all.
it's not.
That's 4 days in a month.
Yeah. So I've been able to like schedule the first Sunday and then like through Wednesday at the beginning of 1 month and then hit the last Sunday and 4 days of the month. So I can get 6 weeks off.
Stress off your plate from not having to always worry about, gosh, I got to go to work. It's like, well, I can't go to work today, but I can go the next 3 days, blah, 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 whatever it is.
So having that flexibility, I truly feel like it makes me a better clinician because when I come in, I'm fully charged. I give my patients undivided attention and I'm not dealing with as high rates as burnout as the therapists that work full time.
Right.
Yeah.
You kind of touched a little bit about traveling. I know that's something like you're super big on. Where, I mean, you don't have to remember every single place, but where have you been for as far as traveling goes?
Oh man, I can just start listing.
Like I know, because I even looked at it. I was like, wow,
yeah,
she's been to a lot of different places.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I mean, it started out with a lot of.
I even seen a Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi Coast, yeah. I've been to Mozambique, Africa. Like I've been to Honduras. I've been to Fiji. I mean, I've really been lucky to travel a lot. Growing up, my family did a lot of missionary work. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what got me into it. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Was it still like this was through religion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So from then, them doing that, that's when you went all over different.
Yeah, to all these like new.
When did that even start for you doing all the traveling outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, I was really lucky. My dad would take us on family vacations as early as I can remember, like 5. Like we would go to Mexico, we'd go to Thailand, we all over. So he definitely gave me the travel bug, which is something I'm so grateful for because it is scary. The unknown is scary and it's overwhelming to know how to book a trip and where to go. And there's so many barriers to have that kind of lifestyle and put that at the priority of your life.
Right. So still kind of even staying on the unknown is scary. I know there's not much you could even touch on that. What would have brought you to Married at First Sight?
Oh, man.
Because that is supposed to be super unknown. This is the first time you're meeting somebody and first sight, oh, I met you. Now I want to marry you. Oh,
I am super adventurous. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of fit me because I had given up on dating. I was like done, like totally done. No apps, like basically just completely like I had accepted my fate of being single.
So Married at First Sight was kind of like this was the end of the road. It's like, I'm going to see if this works. If it doesn't, I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, it was my Hail Mary. I was like, why the hell not? Like, I'm done anyways, so I might as well just jump in and see what happens. So that was kind of what brought me there. And like a friend had just been like, you should apply. And there was no world in which I thought I'd be chosen because like 80,000 or I don't know how many people apply, but tons of people apply. Right. So I was like, I'm not that special. I'm pretty boring actually.
That's crazy. Like the process that they go through, like you said, 80,000 people apply. Like, how do they narrow down to? I don't know. I wanted you.
I don't know what they're looking for, but basically, I'm super special, super cool because I was chosen.
Right. Look at me. Right. Out of the 80,000, they chose you for that.
So yeah, it was kind of my Hail Mary. So been there, done that. Mm-hmm.
And people like I'm sure after the show they come to you like, oh, I'm sure like that was so much fun. What was your experience coming out of that?
Yeah, just generally, speaking, I can't say like too much,
obviously.
But it's been a whirlwind and it's been difficult, to say the least. Yeah. It was definitely a lot more taxing than I was mentally prepared for, and it's been tough.
So basically, for those who are looking to maybe pursue something like that, what would be the best advice after Married at First Sight?
That's a good question.
Because you already went through it, and whether that was a good experience, bad experience, what would be the best advice that you had to give after?
I think
your
like
experience?
as long as you are fully yourself throughout, like no matter what's shown or what people perceive, like you have to just accept yourself. And I think there's so much growth and learning that although it's painful, there's so much growth that comes out of that. So I guess the advice is just continue on the self-growth path, and that will bring you to the light. I'm like right in the thick of it right now, but I'm just like trying to heal and become a better person every day. And yeah.
So with you, like how you had to deal with so much after Married at First Sight, who was not even who or what was the person there to help you mentally? Because I know mental struggles are even a lot harder than physical can be a lot of the times.
Yeah, I've leaned a lot on just like my counselor. I've started a therapy and just talking through
and
things.
You started this after? Or you had this prior?
I've been in and out of therapy like different bouts of my life, but I started with this specific therapist like after the show. After we finished filming the show, and that's been helping. And then just reaching out to friends. Like I feel like I have developed closer connections by just being so raw and authentic with some of my closer friends. And in return, it's been beautiful because they've opened up to me so much more. And it's just deepened just the human experience in general. Because like, let's be real, like life is difficult. Like
already.
It's hard already for everyone. And I think like a lot of times it's so easy to just glaze over those things and just be positive and happy and have light friendships, right? And I'm at this point where I'm like, no, I need depth. Like give me everything you got. Like tell me your shit and I'll tell you mine.
Right. And then plus, I mean, how do you now, I guess, manage friendships like with people have now seen you on TV and like, I don't know what the angle is they're trying to get to you or what, like, how do you now manage just basic interaction?
Yeah. Well, luckily it's
and like, I mean, I'm sure it's like nothing like it's crazy. Like I'm so, famous or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
like that's it. Most everyone's like pretty chill about it. And I will be honest, I don't think I have any new friends since. Like I've been kind of closed down like with the people who've been holding it down for a while.
Right.
But no, I would say everyone that I have encountered has just been pretty kind. I haven't felt like they have ulterior motives or anything like that. So luckily this is not as big as some of the other shows out there.
Right.
like,
no. And I'm
for
sure
my
like,
sake.
I'm sure I'm glad that you can still go to the grocery store and you don't have a problem.
And
going
look
to the grocery
homeless.
store.
Like I've noticed that like the homelier I look, the less I'm approached because I think they're like afraid of me. They're like, oh no, she's full on had a mental breakdown. But like if I'm dolled up and I'm like cute, I'm approached way more. So my strategy is to just look homeless all the time and I'm left alone. So that's what's been going on.
So it's been working for you.
It's been working. But no, I mean, if anyone sees me, it is nice if they say hi. Like it is nice. It's just embarrassing because they don't know what they know about me or what they've seen or,
Where has been your favorite place that you traveled so far? Whether it has been for you through a missionary or through fun, whatever the case may be.
I have to say it's a toss-up between the Philippines and I'm just going to mesh these two countries together, forgive me, but Greece and Italy.
And why those 2, 3?
Oh my goodness. The Philippines was just magical. Like it truly looks like Avatar. Like
that, huh?
Yeah.
Because I've never been.
Yeah. Palawan, El Nido.
But I have seen Avatar.
Right? Well, just picture that, but like not animated.
Right.
But yeah, El Nido is incredible. Like the bluest of blue, teal waters and just such unique like rock formations and structures that are like little islands. And then the people like were just so welcoming and friendly. And then I throw in Greece and Italy just because it's like it's like a fairy book anywhere you look. Like everything about it. It's like it's hard to explain if you haven't been there, but
right. And I haven't.
Magic, beauty, culture, history. I mean, Greece is just so full of history, and then Italy has amazing food and all of it. Yeah.
That's amazing that you've and that's not even the only places you've been. You've been to tons of places.
Yeah.
So with you saying like I just seen pictures of the Amalfi Coast. That's like something with a beach, and it's like I just seen one picture. It's like the beach, and it's like damn near wide open.
Yes.
I don't know what that picture is, but it just looks super dope. And
it's so beautiful. And then the houses are also unique.
Yeah.
And then the winding roads and the old cars and all the houses are painted. And there's like a little Italian old lady. Like it literally.
It's like a movie.
It's like a movie. You feel like you're in a movie and it's just romantic. And yeah.
Where's the next place you plan on going?
So I have 2 more big trips planned this year. I've already done Mexico and Canada for different reasons. And then my big one is Bali. I'm going trying to go for about a month to Bali.
Wow.
Yeah. And then later in the year, I'm going to do Zanzibar, going to Africa.
Well, Zanzibar.
Yeah.
I never even heard of it. And what made you pick Zanzibar?
Well, okay, so I have friends from college that we travel together every year. So they're who I've experienced the Philippines with. We've done Colombia together. We try to go somewhere new every year.
Right.
So they usually pick the place and then we kind of collaborate and plan the trip together. But my friend Katie, she wants to see where the ocean meets the desert sands, and that's one of the unique places. I believe that. I hope I'm not messing up my facts.
No worries at all. No worries.
Yeah. But that's what Zanzibar is, from what I've been told, is known for. So
wow,
we haven't booked anything with that. Bali's all booked and planned, but Zanzibar is still in the works, and we might change it, and deciding on plane tickets and accessibility and everything. But that's on the list.
Right. So with you then being on TV, was that something that made you want to pursue it more, or was like, okay, this is not the lane I want?
With traveling?
No, you being on TV. Is that something that you then wanted to continue to pursue, or that was after you that it was like, okay,
being on TV? Oh, absolutely no. Because
and was that ever even a goal for you to ever be on TV? No,
being on TV was never that was like bottom of not important to me. It was more just
the experience
about finding someone who wants to be married, right? Like that's what the whole show is about.
Right. That was the Hail Mary.
Yeah, let's just jump into this and commit to each other.
Right.
But no, never about that. That was the worst part about it, actually. It was like, this is what I have to do to get the person that's been promised to me, right? Yeah, that was kind of more the mentality.
I see. Yeah. So maybe if it was a different situation, then maybe so, but or maybe TV just wasn't the realm that you've even ever wanted to pursue. No,
I am not a TV person.
And I mean, from what I've seen, like I said, you seem like the nice one. So but hey, everyone has something different from anything they've seen. So yeah, that's what that definitely was. Now with this, after you've done all this, what's next for you?
What's next for me? So I am really just trying to get back to my routine. This, I don't have any of these huge aspirations or goals. This was not a platform for me to have a jumping ground. It truly was about what we talked about, finding someone.
Right.
But I will say, now that I do have people interested in my life for whatever reason, I do want to inspire them to travel. That is something that I'm passionate about. And I've alluded to, I know a lot of people who have a lot of fears and questions and concerns, or they think it's so expensive and it's impossible. And I think that what I'm passionate about is debunking those myths and educating on people on how it can be affordable, how it is safe. To me, it's dangerous to be anywhere these days, you know? I feel pretty unsafe being downtown San Diego. I'll be honest, you just never know. So just trying to educate and inspire people to get out of their comfort zone, because I truly believe that's the best classroom out there. That's when stereotypes are debunked. That's when, what's the word? Straight up racism is debunked. All of your preconceived ideas of a country. And it is the best way to learn and understand people that are different from you.
So how do you get those who are stuck in that mode? Oh no, I don't want to do anything. How is it? What would be the best advice to get them out of that comfort zone?
I mean, the thing is like you have to want to get out of that comfort zone. Like I'm not going to try to take someone who's like hell, but like of course it's more about providing the tools for someone who is interested in wanting to get out of that I wouldn't say rut because it doesn't mean that you're in a rut, but just try something new. I would say go somewhere like Puerto Rico, right? It's still U.S. territory, but it's going to have a different culture. It's going to have a different feel. It's going to have different scenery, food, and you're going to hear Spanish, like that's a really great starting ground for trying something new. Or even Florida. Like you don't have to go crazy, like go to Africa like me. Like I'm a very well-adversed traveler, It's just trying something new. And what fascinates me is like a lot of people aren't comfortable doing things alone either. And meaning going to dinner alone, going to a movie alone. And so it's like if traveling is overwhelming in general, it's like start there. Like try to dissect why does that make me so nervous? Why does it make you so nervous to go eat alone? Are
you good with doing things alone?
I love doing shit alone.
Okay.
I literally I go to the movies alone. I take myself to nice dinners alone.
Yeah.
I'm totally good with that.
That's me myself. Like maybe because I grew up an only child or something like that, but I've always like had a good time being by myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm good with it. It's not like, oh, I need somebody around me. Like, no, I'm good solo by myself. I'm good. So like, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Oh yeah. I'm definitely good with that. You also touched on how you were doing a whole bunch of sports now. What was your favorite sport in high school?
I played volleyball. I was an outside hitter. I actually played into college a bit too. So I am a big fan of volleyball, but I also love basketball. I just didn't play it as competitively as volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basketball. What position would you play in basketball?
I was post. I was like
Oh, wow.
Granted.
No, let them know. Let them know. You play basketball.
I kind of tall. Like for a small Christian school, I'm like tall, But yeah, I played. I was a post player.
And does religion, like you went to boarding school with Christian schools, does that still play a big role in your life now?
No. So this is something that I am happy to share because I am not religious. I have not been affiliated with any religious church, despite what you may have possibly heard or seen. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. I'm very spiritual though.
Right.
The earth, I will get like hippy dippy with it.
So you believe in a higher power.
There is an energy and there is a higher power for sure. Like I truly am convicted in that because I understand how our brains work and it's too amazing and it's too intricately designed to me by chance. So yeah, I definitely, my church is being in the mountains or being in the ocean.
So does that possibly ruffle feathers with your family since they grew up so religious?
Yeah, my parents have just accepted, like they're pretty loving, so it's just kind of like we're sad that you don't believe what we believe. We have the truth, but like if you don't accept it, you don't accept it. Like what are they can't do.
Right.
So. Yeah, I do think it makes my mom sad. But
I mean, you're still doing all this and that. So, I mean, you're still successful in life. So.
Yeah, totally. She just wants my happiness more than anything. And I think that she knows she gets her happiness from, God and Jesus and her religion. That's where her happiness comes from. And so it's hard for her to understand having that happiness outside of that direct line for her because she's so
it's like that.
Yeah,
that's what it is for her.
And it's her life, and it's inspiring. It's beautiful. I have so much respect for her. It's just not my path,
And are you as close with your mom as you are with your dad?
No, I'm close with my mom. I'm not super close with my dad. There's no like
ill will
or bad blood or anything. It's I guess, yeah, we just neither of us make it like a super priority to keep in contact with each other. But I mean, I love seeing him. I see him probably like once a year, family stuff, and it's always fun. He truly is a world traveler. He's somewhere, and he's more hardcore than I am. He'll go to like Iraq and Iran and like.
And that kind of sparked the traveling bug for you as well.
Totally, he's the one who taught me all it is about traveling.
Now, after you've already done this, what's the dating scene like for you now? Is that something that you are interested in pursuing, or is that kind of like you have this on the back burner now, or how was that kind of more for you?
I'm back to square one, meaning before the show, like I said, I was done and I'm done again. Like I'm pretty closed off. I have no intention of putting myself out there. If someone's going to pursue me, it's going to take a lot of work. Like a lot.
You make sure to put a lot. It's gonna take a lot of work.
And that's never happened in my life. So I would be shocked if all of a sudden now it did happen. So I'm kind of like grieving and making peace with that, like my life path is gonna be different than what I had envisioned. And you know, a lot of times people are like, when you're not looking, that's when it happens. And I'm like, but we'll see. You know, I'm not like closed off to it. Like I really am not. I just can't be the one to put myself out there anymore. It's been too exhausting and too much heartbreak. So. And
like you said, it wasn't what you envisioned. What was it that you actually envisioned? Because you said, I guess the dating scene wasn't like what you envisioned after coming. I don't know if it was coming out of the show or just out of the experience of it.
Oh, just in general, just dating life has always been like it just hasn't been my forte. I think nowadays with the apps and stuff, it's just so impersonal and yeah, it's exhausting. So it just not fun. Right. It hasn't been fun for me. And we're talking about like my early 20s. Like I hadn't dated for about 2 years before I signed up for the show.
Right.
Like, so I only gave it a little bit of time in my early 20s and that was too much for me.
Yeah. So with you now have been in San Diego for this long, where have been some of your favorite places to eat?
Oh my goodness. There's so many good Mexican spots around here.
I knew you were going to say Mexican. I knew it. That was going to have to be number one.
Oh my goodness. There's a place. Oh shoot. I have to look it up because it is so good. It's in Hillcrest and you have to walk up to the counter to order, but it is so worth it. I have to find the name. And then there's some really good restaurants in my neighborhood as well.
Yeah.
More Mexican food, love Thai food. I don't discriminate. I'm actually I like all food. Like I wish I was more picky, but I'll eat it like and enjoy it. People will be like, this is gross. And I'm like, that's amazing. I'm just like shoveling it. So I'm not the best person to really ask about food because my like taste buds are just appreciative of anything.
Yeah. No, that's good that you actually, and like you just said, you actually try a whole bunch of like different stuff. In San Diego, we have tons of stuff. So that's another thing that we even like touching on with food, how much food we actually have out here. I know a lot of people know how much food we have over here, but we kind of want to touch even more based on that. Yeah. So with now, you have finished the show, everything now, you're moving over. Like, have you even kept up with anybody from the show?
Yeah, like the girls were all really supportive and like friendly with each other. It's just everyone's kind of moved. So there's only like a couple of us still in San Diego, but we all have each other's backs and, you know, we've been through something significant together. So we have that as such a bond. Right. And then I'm actually going to Mexico with Ben and a couple other people like in a couple of weeks. So definitely keep in contact with him. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny because, like, well, I mean, I'm sure you know, like, I've met 2 people through the show. Oh, I'm talking over here. I've met 2 people through the show as well. And when I met them, I'm like, oh, they just seem like some down-to-earth people, like regular, just like you. Like, it was just down-to-earth. So, I mean, like, I don't know what people were expecting if they, like, see you out or something like, but really, it's just regular.
We're just regular Joe Schmoes, nothing special. We're looking for some love.
Exactly. And as far as for that not working out in your best favor, do you feel it was more so based off of how it was set up, or the person that you were placed with?
I have so much love and respect for Miguel. Like,
The
to
biggest
this
thing I
day.
remember him is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that always popped in my mind anytime like he came up to my head.
Yeah. No, it definitely, we were so lucky to been matched with each other and have each other's back through the experience. And definitely not that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's probably all I can say.
No worries. No worries at all. No worries at all.
Get me going.
Nothing at all. I don't know. And like we said, like we already know where that has to go and where that has to go and cut off from there.
Yeah.
Definitely. So like I even appreciate you inviting us to your place here, like inviting us in your space.
No,
because like we always tell anybody, the time you never get back. So for you to even give us that time, I know it was already getting late. You got work later, things like that. I was like, it's getting tired. So I definitely understand. And I appreciate you even giving us the time to give us this interview. And like I said, your time, that means more than anything. So.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you for coming. I mean, I would have just been binge watching trash TV. So it's probably better to
What is it that you even like to watch on TV?
No, I've been into like dark murder mysteries and like
is it like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing?
Yeah, no, not that one.
Okay,
but I don't know, like all the Murdoch murders,
all these murder cases that you gotta figure out. All these murder
cases, it brings me a sick piece of joy.
No worries at all. And if you could just let the people know what podcast you were on, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's an Umbrella, right?
The Big Umbrella Podcast. Okay. No worries.
Okay, so what do you want me to say?
No, whatever. You're on the Big Umbrella Podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Definitely.
I'm really grateful for the Big Umbrella Podcast. You guys are awesome, and I'm proud of you for, going out and networking with all these amazing people that San Diego has to offer.
Definitely. And that's the goal.
And it's so cool that you can just like connect and reach out and hear people's story. And yeah, I really appreciate the Big Umbrella Academy.
The Big Umbrella Academy, we're here.
Did you ever
This will be soon.
Did you watch the Big Umbrella? What's it called? The Umbrella Academy?
I think they were like, they do like magic.
I love that
It was kind of like X-Men, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. That's why when you said I was laughing to us, I was like, I see that show.
The Big Umbrella Podcast.
So it's the Big Umbrella Academy, the Big Umbrella Podcast, one of the two.
Because we educated you today at this academy.
And like I said, I appreciate you giving us your time. So
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been another episode of the Big Umbrella Podcast, and it's a wrap.
Yay. That was fun. Thank you so much.
Well, let's get some tacos, nigga. Can we really get some tacos? You trying to get some tacos? Let's get some tacos, nigga.